What is going on, everybody? You are back on another edition of Ballin Over Beers, a fantasy and betting show. I am Justin Dueppengiesser, and I am joined, as always, by my guys, AK Howe and James Fitch. But before we bring those guys in here, make sure you're smashing the like button. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button so you know every single time we got a show coming up. And, we'll have our DFS show out this week, so you're going to want to check that one out too. And in the comments, put down what your favorite line of the week is, because I had a little bit of difficulty kind of finding some of my 5 favorite ones here. So I'm glad we're going to be talking about this tonight. But AK, my guy, big day. We're recording this on Wednesday, October 6th. And it's a special day because it is your birthday. Happy birthday, buddy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
How's the birthday going?
Oh, good. Took the night off from work, so it's even better to have a day off.
Yeah, can't argue with that. That's when you get old like us, that's the real birthday present. James, what's up, dude?
Not too much, man. All good. Looking forward to another week.
Yeah, I see you got your Bills hat on in honor of the big Bills Chiefs matchup we got this Sunday night.
Looking forward to it. It's going to be a great game.
Are we even friends this week, or are we just fierce enemies?
Probably fierce enemies.
That's what makes sense to me.
It's going to be this week and probably the week after too. There's going to be a whatever way it goes, there's going to be a solid just like 2-week window where it's going to sting a little bit probably.
Yeah, if the Chiefs lose, you probably will not see us on our group message for at least a week.
That's how it goes.
It is for sure.
It's fun that you guys are fighting over the second best team in the AFC behind the Bengals, but
here we go.
Can't wait to talk about you picking against them this week.
I was gonna say, when the Bengals lose by a couple touchdowns to the Packers this week,
yeah.
Let's before we jump into this week, let's just real quick talk about last week. We'll go through our bets, kind of how we did, and then we'll move on to this week. So we'll go with Mr. AK. Since it is your birthday, since you had another big week, you can kick us off with your recap from last week.
Yeah, I went 4-1 again, back-to-back weeks of 4-1 with the money pick hit in. The only game I lost was the Titans versus the Jets. I picked that before AJ and Julio are both ruled out. Even after that, I still liked it, but the Titans just fell flat, and it was a tough loss. But Green Bay smoked the Steelers. Chargers crushed the Raiders, like I said when you were pumping up the Broncos, how good they are, and I said it's the Raiders that are going to be losing. Seattle, never in doubt, and then Baltimore just crushed the Broncos.
Yeah, no, another big week. That puts you at first place in our competition with 14 points. Big lead over James, who was in second. James has 12 total points. He also got 4 games, right? Went 4-1. James, why don't you go ahead and recap those games for us?
Yeah, I was hoping to gain some ground on you there, AK, but you had another phenomenal week. I had a bad feeling about that Jets game. Like I was so close to like flag plant. Jets are going to win this game. I just couldn't get myself to do it.
Can I tell you that was a game that I actually put actual money on, and I bet the Jets?
Yeah, I mean,
I got the Jets Giants, and I did a Jets Giants parlay, and I got them both obviously all 3 of those games right. So
that was the way to go last week. This week's going to be like the week of the favorites probably. All the sports books are going to get crushed. But my only loss last week was Dolphins -2. They stink. They're done. Their season's over. They're just a horrible football team right now. Will Fuller's on IR. Surprise, surprise. Like that team just is falling apart, and I can't believe that I backed them, and I will not do that again. Wins with the Cardinals. I thought that one would be close. I said I guaranteed that it would finish 3. Didn't even have to sweat it because the Cardinals just crushed them, and we are still a Cardinals podcast.
Always.
Ravens +1, never in doubt. Chargers -3, never in doubt. And then Seattle was kind of my flag plant last week. Had them +3, also bet them on the money line. They just own San Francisco.
Yeah, that was a good call on that one. I'm bringing up the rear with 10 points. So my weeks, I said this last week. I'm either getting 1 point or I'm getting 4. It's alternated though. So I got 4 this week. So this coming week is gonna be back to 1. So I went 1 point, 4 points, 1 point, 4 points. So I need to get off that. I can't back up this 4 point week with another 1 pointer. But I got the lock of the week right for my call was the Chiefs over the Eagles, Kansas City -7. I just thought they were gonna smash spot and they ended up doing that. Packers -6.5, Chargers -3. The 2 games I got wrong were the Panthers +4 with Dallas. I thought that it was going to be close, and it really wasn't. Dallas kind of controlled that game for most of the second half, really. And then the Broncos -1 over Baltimore. I just thought the Broncos would be better than that, but it didn't help Bridgewater getting hurt and not being able to finish the game. And then the Ravens, ended up winning that game pretty easily. So, looking to gain some ground this week, but as I had kind of mentioned, this week I don't know about you guys, but I was not really feeling this board very much at all. I guess James, anything for week 5 jump out to you when you looked at the board right away? Because nothing really stood out immediately to me.
Nothing jumps out at me or to me. I have this nervous feeling because I'm on a lot of favorites again this week. I don't know that I'm actually going to wager money on any of these games. I think I told you guys my favorite play right now is the over 45 in the Philly Carolina game. I just think that number is too low.
Yeah.
Philly's given up 40 each of the last 2 games. They've given up 40 points. So I think they're a defense that's going to give up a lot of points. But when it comes to betting sides, there's nothing that really jumps out to me. I'm just like, I feel like I'm tossing or doing a coin toss on a lot of these picks right now.
It really does feel like a coin toss for a lot of these games. AK, what about you? Anything that jumped off the board to you, or anything that you saw that you're like, wow, I really like this, or are you with us?
Actually, originally I didn't really like that many lines, but on Mondays, what I like to do is go through and make my own line and then compare it to today. I mean, it's only been 1 day. And when I did that, I found a couple disparities that jumped out to me, mainly like the Washington line. But so it made it a little bit easier to pick, but I still think this week is pretty tough for games.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's start right with you then, AK, and you can give us your first game on your 5-pack here.
My first game, I'm going with Baltimore -6.5 versus Indy. I think Indy's pretty banged up. The Ravens are starting to roll on offense, running the ball. I know it took them every second of last week to break the 100 yards, but I don't think it's going to take them that long this week versus Indy. And I like them to win by at least a touchdown.
James, what about you?
I'm also on the Baltimore side, -6.5. As AK mentioned, Baltimore is getting healthier. They're going to get Rashad Bateman, I think, back for the first time this regular season this week. So I think that'll help boost the offense. I'm betting on a better head coach here, and that Baltimore defense is getting healthier and getting better. So I like them to win by a touchdown. A touchdown covers that, and I think it could be about a 7-point game. So,
What if I told you I'm on the opposite side of that game?
I'm good. I'm for it this week since it's a 1-point week for you.
I know. I was going to say you guys are in really good shape because I am, and that's not even me just trying to gain some ground on you guys. That is, I like the Colts in this game. I think that Baltimore has played kind of over their heads the last couple of weeks. I still think that defense isn't very good. Their secondary is banged up and really not that good. I know that the Colts haven't been good either, but don't forget that it took a 66-yard field goal for the Ravens to beat Detroit just 2 weeks ago. So I think that's too much. Do I think the Ravens will win? Probably, but I think it'll be closer than a lot of people think. So I'm gonna go the Colts +6.5 on that, and hope that they can just not be awful, and Wentz can just not like turn over the ball like a bunch of times and they can just keep it close and maybe keep it within a field goal, and we can cash in on that one. Let's go to the second game for you, okay?
My second game, I'm going with the football team over the Saints, +2. I'm actually getting this at. I kind of think it should be at least even or Washington -1. I think Heineke is playing a lot better than the books are giving him credit for. And it's only going to take Jameis Winston to turn around that defense, throwing 2 or 3 interceptions.
Yeah, I actually like this game quite a bit, and I didn't put it in any of my choices, but I think that's the sharp side to be on. I would be with you on that Washington side. What about you, James?
I'm also on Washington +2. I like AK said, I think Heineke's he's not bad. I mean, he's got to clean it up a little bit. He makes some mistakes each game, but for being undrafted, I think he's been playing pretty well. He's been connecting with McLaurin, their best wide receiver. I still think this defense hasn't played their best game yet. I think they're due for that. I don't trust Jameis. I don't trust the Saints offense. They're not throwing the ball to Kamara, which is super weird. They don't really have those downfield threats, it seems. So I think it's going to be a low scoring game. And with that, I'll just take the points.
Yeah, so you guys are definitely going to be at least 2 games up on me because you're both on those first 2 games and I'm not. So that's not a good start for me. My next game is actually going to be the Chargers -2 over Cleveland. I think that the Chargers are just a good football team. I think Cleveland's got a really solid defense, got a solid front, good offensive line, good run game, but I'm just not confident that Baker can make enough plays when he needs to make plays yet. He's really struggled last week against Minnesota. Like, how does that game go like 14-7? Like, that just makes no sense to me.
Did you see those passes that he missed to Odell? Odell should have had like 3 or 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And
they were so bad.
So bad. And I was all over Odell for DraftKings. He absolutely crushed me. So I just give me the Chargers. The Chargers are just better. Like I said, I have no faith in Baker. So I'll take the Chargers. AK, what about your third game?
Well, you talked about it earlier with the over, but Carolina -3.5 versus Philly. I think Philadelphia's defense is terrible. If you listened to the DFS show last week, I think you know how I feel about Sam Darnold and DJ Moore this year. And I think they score points on Philadelphia, and Carolina's defense is good enough to hold Philly to 21 or 24 points. So 3.5 doesn't worry me at all.
Yeah, Carolina just highway robbery, today as we record this on a Wednesday with giving up a 2023 6th-round pick to get Stephon Gilmore, who, if he comes back healthy from that quad, I mean, that seems like a pretty good trade for them with where their defense is going. So I like that. I like the Carolina call in that game. AK James, who is your third one?
Yeah, I'm going to go with New England at -8.5. This one hurts to lay that many points with a New England team that I don't feel like has really clicked yet. I just think Houston's that bad. And Bill Belichick likes to embarrass rookie quarterbacks. That offense can't do it. I was at the game last week and I turned to my father-in-law and I was like, they're not even trying. Like, they're looking to just get, like, it really felt that way being at the game. Like,
Yeah.
They just ran the ball. They couldn't do anything, and it's not going to get any better against this New England defense. So, although I'm not high in the Pats offense, I think this could be a blowout. So, I'm going to take New England -8.5.
I'm right there with you on that game. I think that's a really good call. And honestly, you think about it, with as bad as Houston's offense is, even though the spread's 8.5, like, how many points realistically are the Texans going to score? Like,
They didn't they
5.
cut Anthony Miller today? They have no wide receivers aside from Brandon Cooks. That's what I heard. I gotta vet that. But
and how many yards did they have passing at halftime of the Bills game last week? -23 or something?
Yeah, you're including sacks. I think
Yeah.
so.
I
think they had 100.
Like the lowest total ever at halftime.
They had like 110 yards of total offense in that game. I'm pretty sure.
That's for an NFL team. That's unbelievable.
The first half under is 20 on that game. I'm looking at that as a potential bet because I don't know that Houston scores more than a field goal in the first half.
Yeah, they might not score more than a field goal in the whole game. Like you said, like what is Belichick going to do to Davis Mills? It's going to be That's going to be a sheer bloodbath. It's going to be the Red Wedding from Game of Thrones.
It could be. Very well could be.
It's just going to be an absolute disaster. Yeah, I'm right there with you on that one. All right, AK, what's your next game?
I am going against the number 1 team in the AFC because I think they're playing the number 3 team in the NFC, and the NFC is just better. So I'm taking Green Bay -3. That's, Aaron Rodgers is rolling. Cincinnati has the wins. They're playing okay. I just think Green Bay comes in and wins this game by a touchdown.
So what this came down to for you was your fandom for Aaron Rodgers was more than your fandom for the Bengals. Is that what it was?
I actually, I'm staying tonight at my parents' house. I came here for my birthday, but I was going to wear my Aaron Rodgers book club t-shirt I got in the mail, but I forgot it at my townhouse today. So I'll wear it next week for the victory celebration.
Very nice. Very nice. So you're an Aaron Rodgers book club?
Oh yeah. I buy the book every week.
Really?
Yeah.
Does he? No, I don't read. I'm watching Squid Games on Netflix right now with the rest of the world.
I watched that like a month ago, and I told you guys about it a month ago.
I know. I was trying to watch it. My wife didn't want it, and then we watched the first episode. She's like, "Okay, this is a little gory, but let's watch it because it really brings you right in."
Yeah, but you should really get into Aaron Rodgers book club. Great books every week. It's a couple short ones, 140 pagers, bang it out in a week.
I don't read.
Just an hour a day. An hour a day. That's all you need.
Who has time for that?
Exactly.
I have all the time in the world.
Yeah, you're the only human being I know that has at least 47 hours every single day somehow. I don't even get it. All right, moving on. Packers are going to trounce your Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
My next game is the Chicago Bears over AK's third favorite team, the Las Vegas Raiders. So this is I just don't think the Raiders are very good. They are bound to be the team that, like they were last year, they're going to start out hot, they're going to win 4 or 5 games, and then they're going to just tank, they're going to miss the playoffs, and that is going to be that. I think that Nagy coming out and naming Fields the starters today, and it makes such a more clearer picture in the locker room and direction in which you're going. He can make plays with his feet. Give me Chicago in this in the points. It could be a close game. If the Raiders win, they could win, but I think it's a close game, and I think that. If they can get enough pressure on Derek Carr, I mean, anytime an NFL player says basically that if you hit him, he just curls up at a ball and he's afraid, like Bosa did about Derek Carr, like that's got to be like the biggest insult in the world. Like he's basically calling you a sissy. Like it's bad. So give me the Bears. James.
Yeah, I don't really love this, but I'm going to go with the Steelers -1 against Denver. I'm kind of banking on Drew Lock playing in this game. Teddy's concussed, right? Or he's going through the concussion protocol, so he may still play. I think this is just kind of a get right game for the Steelers. Much like you think the Raiders aren't very good. I'm not convinced the Broncos are that great of a team. I think the Steelers have just underperformed. Their offense hasn't looked great. Big Ben looks dead. But I think the defense is good enough. I think they're getting healthier too. This is just the Steelers have to win this game, and I think they will.
It came out that Ben has a hip injury. Do you think it is better do you think it's better for the Steelers for him not to play or for him to play?
He needs to play. Mason Rudolph is not the answer. Dewey Haskins is not the answer. They're not any better off with either of those two. Big Ben just needs a couple ice packs on the knees, give him his walking boot, whatever he needs.
Get the man some Denny's.
Yeah. I just think they win this game. I'm not very high on the Broncos. Obviously, their defense is very good, but it's just crazy to me. The Steelers have so much talent on their offense, and obviously Ben holds them back, but they just have so many weapons that they just need to figure out how to get them the ball.
Their offensive line is brutal too. Their offensive line is very bad, which doesn't help the situation for an old quarterback who shouldn't be getting hit, and he's just getting hit every play. All right. Is it my next game or you got one more, AK?
I got my money game.
You're a pick behind, Justin.
Yeah, I'm a pick behind. Let me give you.
Okay.
let me give you my pick before your money game, AK. So my next game is the New York Giants, and I'll take them +7 against the Cowboys. This is more just it's a divisional game. I think it just will be close. I think the Cowboys end up winning, but it will be close just because it's a division game. I think the Giants do just enough, and I think this game has potential to be kind of a sneaky shootout. Daniel Jones has been looking surprisingly okay for like a fantasy quarterback, and like we'll I'm sure we'll talk about him a little bit on our DFS show. So be sure to check that out. But just give me the points in a divisional game. 7 seems like a lot at this point for a divisional game. AK money game.
I'm on the exact opposite side of that. I love the Cowboys this week. Even at 7, originally when I did it was at 6.5. It's already moved to 7. That's how much the public likes the Cowboys, which kind of scares me. But I think they have a very underrated defense. Dak is easily the best quarterback there. They still have all the weapons on offense, and I just don't think the Giants are that good. So I'm going with Dallas -7. If it moves to 7.5, I would definitely not bet it. I think 7 is the highest you'd want to go just for that push factor being the divisional game. But as of right now at 7, I'm going to keep that as my lock of the week.
Yeah, I'm just feeling worse and worse about my choices as this show goes on. So that's good. Hey, it's James. Who is your lock of the week? Your money pick?
I'm on Aaron Rodgers and the Packers -3 over the Bengals. I don't. Jair Alexander's hurt. How bad is he hurt? Is he like done for the year?
I don't know. I haven't heard any reports. I saw he got carted off though.
He's not playing this week, which scares me with T. Higgins possibly coming back. But the Bengals are without their best offensive player, one of their best offensive players with Joe Mixon. I don't think Samaje Perine's the answer on the offensive side of the ball, so we can kind of take that element of their offense away. I just think this is a game where Rodgers gets it done. 3 points isn't that many to cover, so I like them -3.
I like it.
I was gonna say Alexander is gonna be out. They're not how long, and it's looking like he can avoid.
Take your connection is going to crap here. We just lost you for.
I was just gonna say I just looked it up. Alexander is looking to avoid surgery and will be out until further notice.
Oh boy, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah, not crazy about that.
That'd be a big.
They lost
for defense.
They lost to somebody else too recently, a linebacker, I think.
This is a Darius Smith.
Yeah.
Darius Smith or whatever.
Yeah. So the offense is going to have to put up points, and I think they can.
Yeah. Does this mean you're joining Aaron Rodgers book club with AK because you're
No.
picking them? Not at all.
Don't
You read? You read every night to your kids, right? Your kids' books.
Yeah, I like to push buttons that make noises and rhyme.
It's the dad's book club. A lot of pictures, a lot of buttons. All right.
Yeah, just read Where Men Win Glory. It's the Pat Tillman story. They'll love it.
Yeah, that would fire him up. That would fire him up for sure. All right, my lock of the week, which might be the dumbest pick I've potentially ever made. I'm going to take the Detroit Lions +8.5 over Minnesota. This is, again, it's 8.5 points. The Lions, they just seem to hang around against teams. They don't quit. They play for Dan Campbell, there's something to be said about that. It's a divisional game. I don't know. 8.5 would be too much for a divisional game. So I'll take the points in the Jared Goof.
You're getting a good number because I was looking to tease the Lions when they were at 7.5, and I went to go put it in, and it jumped to 9.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
It's come down to 8.5. I don't know if it's because Penei Sewell got hurt. I think in practice, I don't know. I can't see him affecting the line more than a point. I don't know if there's another injury that happened too, but this line jumped so much today, so I was curious about that.
Yeah, no, that's what I saw. It jump up to 9 too, and then when I looked back, it was back down to 8.5. So I was wondering what that was about myself. But
Does
Yeah.
well, Michael Lombardi said about the Lions defense. Were you at all, Justin?
I didn't hear what he said.
They're slow, they can't cover, and they're really on it. Oh, and they have no pass rush. But other than that, they have a good defense.
Sounds awesome. That's exactly what I want. But what does that have to say about the guys' hearts out there? Guys are all freaking passionate out there. The guys plays their tails off, run through a
Miles and
wall for
miles.
their coach. Run through a wall for their coach. I'll tell you what. All right, let's get out of here. This show's lost it.
We're off the rails.
We're off the rails here. All right. Any final thoughts or anything you like, AK, before we get out of here?
No, just pay attention to my Twitter. Hopefully this Sunday I'm not working for 17 hours and not going to Bill Stadium out of power, so we can I can tweet out some bets.
Give me your Twitter handle?
Kenny True Love.
Kenny True Love, no E. All right, James, any thoughts before we get out of here?
It's a great teaser week. I've been running hot on teasers. Seattle +2.5. I like throwing them in, and it's a basic strategy teaser. You get them up through the key numbers of 3, 4, 6, and 7. You can pair them up with Washington, currently sitting at +2. You can pair them up with Buffalo, currently at +2.5. I'll likely be doing some combination of those 3 teams.
I like it. You can find James on Twitter at Fitchy24. You can find me on Twitter at JDiz1617. Make sure you're checking out the betting show. I want to know, what is your favorite line? Dan Campbell and those lines. A lot of heart on that team. That's why they're my lock of the week. All right, everybody. Appreciate everybody being here. We'll talk to you later.